We're back on the record in the Antee matter. Counsel, you're 25 minutes late. Hello? Hello?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're 25 minutes late.
I apologize, Your Honor.
Your client showed up 5 minutes ago.
What's that?
Your client showed up 5 minutes ago and you're 25 minutes late.
Well, I don't have an excuse. We went and had lunch this week. We got back. We had to park over by the ballpark and walk over. I apologize.
Mr. Moulton, what's your hourly rate?
Sorry,
What's your hourly rate?
my hourly rate is $2.15.
Okay. You'll pay $150 to Mr. Moulton. It's a personal sanction against you.
Okay.
Okay?
Is that 115?
Thank you. Mr. Moulton, are you resuming?
Yes, you're
Okay.
okay. So we were talking about January 17th, 2018. It's been your testimony that you did not sign the quitclaim deed, but you did sign the gift letter and you drafted the letter of agreement all on January 17th, 2018, correct?
One gift letter and a letter of agreement was drafted on January 17th.
Okay. And then you also transferred the money to escrow on that day as well, correct?
No, I didn't transfer any money.
You did not go to the bank and follow the escrow instructions on that day.
I went in the bank thinking that I was setting up a wire and that I would then be able to approve documents prior to sending the wire. But yes, I did go to the bank.
Okay, and you set up a wire transfer that day.
Yes.
Okay. Isn't it true that day that you told Bobby that you were sending the money? You sent Bobby a text message saying that you were sending the money, that you would sign the paper, and that you would sign a quitclaim deed as well.
No.
You never sent any kind of message like that to Mr. Antee.
I believe I do know what you're talking about. And it was the fact that Bobby cared nothing about the wedding or what I was going through. But he cared so much about this house. So I responded to him, go ahead, keep the house, sign the you could have everything. Sarcastically. Yes, I did.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Is this that text message in that you described? Middle of the page.
Yeah, I said I'll sign the paper, I'll also sign the quitclaim, and you can have the house, she can get her commission, and I'll go to be with Aiden in heaven. That's what I said.
So I'm going to read the exact text. It says, I'm sending the money now. I'll sign the paper, and I'll also sign a quitclaim, and you can have the house. She gets her commission, I can do Aiden, correct?
I'm not seeing where I'll send the money now.
If you look at the text message directly above, it looks like the message was split into two messages that were sent together.
I still do not see where I say anywhere I'll send the money now.
So the exact phrasing is, I'm sending the money now.
I don't even see I'm sending the money now.
I'll show you my copy.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Okay.
But again, this was a cry for help. And again, showing my ex-husband that I was struggling mentally. It was sarcastic, and he knew that.
But at the time, you say that you were sending the money then. You understood that the money was going to be transferred that day.
Yeah, but that was, you also
It's
have
a
no
simple
date.
yes or no, Ms.
No.
Sakari.
No.
But the money was transferred on January 17th.
With the intent that we both be on title, yes.
Okay. In your testimony before, you stated that while you asked Linda Knott for a copy of closing disclosures, that you never received them, correct?
I never asked for closing disclosures.
Wait a minute, Your Honor. All right, would you open in Exhibit 6 in Plaintiff's Binder? And it's going to be labeled PLTF 0094.
Go ahead.
Okay, do you recognize this?
Yes, I do.
How do you recognize it?
It was a text message that I sent in the group text telling her to tell me what has cleared and what has not cleared, and that I want my lawyer to look over all the documents.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd like to submit this Defendant's Exhibit J, double J.
Is it just that page?
Sorry?
Just that page?
So it is, yep, it's just 0094 for right now.
Mr. Wilson, I need a response.
Oh, no objection.
It's admitted by stipulation.
Okay, so then I want to flip over a couple pages to same section. It's going to be PLTF 0102. 0102.
Can I get a date on this?
So I don't see a date listed that day, but it's it'll be established through other documentation as well, Your Honor.
I see the date of January 15th in the middle, but not the top.
On the previous one, yes.
But not the top part.
Correct. All right, are you at 102, Ms. Licari?
Yes, Sam?
Okay. And at the, sorry, do you recognize this exhibit?
Yes.
How do you recognize it?
This is the text I sent to her telling her to cancel the sale of the home.
And does it look substantially the same as when you submitted it as an exhibit in your complaint for separate maintenance last year?
Yep.
Okay. I'd like to submit as exhibit double K.
Admitted.
Thank you. At the bottom there, can you, or I guess you stated previously in your testimony that you sent this text message and that you had this communication with Ms. Na, allegedly canceling the sale of the house on January 15th, correct?
I did cancel the sale.
Okay, but it was on January 15th, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And Ms. Na states, Lindsay, I just forwarded you the CD and lender CEO contract drafting cancellation now, correct?
She forwarded me the cancellation docs, CD, cancellation docs.
Okay. Did you get an email from Ms. Na that day?
I'm not sure, I caught a flight, and my phone was off until I returned on the 16th in the evening.
So it's your testimony that there was no email from Ms. Na.
What are you talking about?
Did you or did you not receive an email from Ms. Linda Na containing closing disclosures on January 15th?
No, I did not see an email from Linda Na on January 15th with closing disclosures when I asked her for cancellation docs.
All right. Find that last one. show you, the top of the page, who does it state that the email is from?
Your Honor, I'm gonna object to this exhibit because it appears there's documents attached to the back that no way to identify whether or not they were in this email.
Your Honor, if I'm happy to show on the email, it says attach, or sorry, it labels attachments as Bobby Antee CD, and that's what's attached.
And we've had Mrs. Nas testified regarding there could have been multiple closing disclosures and whether or not this is the exact same one. Doesn't sound like anyone knows.
It wasn't produced.
It's been produced by the plaintiff in other filings, including her her Glavar complaint. And then it goes to impeachment. She claimed that she never received this email bearing closing disclosures.
Show her the email.
Okay, who does it say this email is to?
It says it's to me.
And that's your email address, lindsaylicari14@aol.com?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so on January 15th, you did in fact receive an email which states Lindsay attaches the closing disclosure that Bobby signed. Below is the number, or is the phone number for the lender and that your attorney can contact.
I never received the email until I returned from my trip and turned my phone on.
But that email was sent to you on January 15th, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
but it.
And that email did contain an attached closing disclosure.
I never opened the email, so I don't know what it contained. It said Bobby CD cancellation doc. I never opened it. I continued my business because I canceled the sale.
Can you please read for me on this email where it says cancellation doc?
It says right here, attachment, Bobby Antee CD. I never opened the email.
But the text of the email says, Lindsay, attached is the closing disclosure that Bobby signed.
I would
correct?
have to open the email to read it, and I never opened the email. I went on a trip, my phone was off, and it was not on until the following day,
So did you receive it the following day?
which is why I never even responded to her email.
Did you receive it the following day?
No, I never looked at it because I canceled the sale of the home.
So this is the first time that you've seen this email, period.
No, I saw it in May of 2019 when I started going back through emails, through all the records, and that's when I began finding out all the things that Bobby had done.
So you were given notice on January 15th and you received a copy of the closing disclosure. You just didn't bother to open it and read it.
I presumed it was a cancellation doc, as which I asked for.
Okay. Despite the fact that Linda specifically said she sent you the closing documents and then you received them that same day.
But again, I told her I canceled and I never responded to her. So she was still trying to continue the sale after I canceled the sale.
Okay. Alright, let's go to Exhibit R. Or sorry, did I get the right one? Yeah, Exhibit R. Alright, let's go to page 906. So you're going to flip over a couple. Alright, so we're going to go down to where it says summary of transaction, borrower's transaction. Then underneath adjustments, isn't it true the document reads payoff and lists a number of $8,374.03?
That's what I see here, yes.
Okay. So a closing disclosure was sent to you
Cancellation
on January
docs.
15th. We've established from the email that a closing disclosure was sent to you.
But from her text, she said cancellation docs, which made me never think that I need to open the email. I had more important things to worry about.
Okay. But within that closing disclosure, there was information. Well, you can claim you didn't read it. You still received it. And there was information in that disclosure which stated that there would be payoffs as part of escrow totaling $8,374.03, correct?
Had I ever saw that, you would have never seen me wire a penny to anyone.
Okay. Are you in the practice of not reading your emails?
When I just lost my son, I'm running a foundation, throwing a Christmas party, traveling around the world, and getting 1,000 emails a week. It's very hard to read them all. So yes, I was in the practice of not reading all of my emails.
Okay. Alright, interest of time. So it was your testimony that Bobby did not put any funds towards the community between November 2017 and February 2018, correct?
Pretty much no.
Okay. During this time, was Bobby working?
Yes,
Were you working?
I was working at the foundation.
The foundation, which we've established that in 2018 you were not paid apart from
In the
being
beginning, no, I was volunteering as part of building it.
Okay. You claimed that you were the sole party who paid for your wedding reception, ceremony, etc. in February, correct?
Yes,
Okay. Have you produced any documentation to show that it was you who paid for everything?
I have, but I'm sure it wasn't put in.
So, we don't have that documentation on record, we just have to rely on your word, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You also claimed that you were the one who paid for the honeymoon, yes?
No. I didn't pay for
You
the honeymoon.
didn't state in your testimony that you were the one that paid for the honeymoon?
I found out after the fact I was the one that paid for the honeymoon, but at the time of the honeymoon, he made every impression that he was paying for it.
But it's your allegation that you paid for the entirety of the honeymoon. At this time, knowing what you know now.
Yeah, knowing what I know now, yeah.
Okay. Again, have you produced any documentation to verify this belief of yours?
I gave him $26,000 that he never gave back, and I did document every cent.
Have documentation for specifically what, February of 2018 been produced?
For what?
Bank statements, credit cards, anything that shows that you were the one that paid the money for the honeymoon.
It's never been in debate who paid for everything. I had all the money, he didn't.
It's in debate now,
I have no problem providing that information.
but you haven't till now.
Have you asked for it?
Okay, it's not a dialogue, and you don't argue with the attorney. Just answer
Yes,
the
ma'am.
questions, okay? Don't get an attitude.
Okay. You claim that Bobby threw you out of the house on multiple occasions, yes?
He absolutely did.
But you also stated in your previous testimony, isn't it true that you stated that you would leave the house, go stay with your mom because Bobby would refuse to leave the home?
Yes, and then he would then tell me he's changing locks to the doors. He would then tell me if I don't contribute more money, I needed to get out of the house. So to find a peace in my mind, I would leave instead of arguing with him and go stay with my mother, because that's what I needed, peace.
It was a voluntary decision made by you to leave the house.
Sometimes it was, and other times no. He locked the doors and threatened to change the locks.
Okay. So Bobby moved out at the beginning of July 2018, yes?
Yes, he did.
You didn't pay the mortgage on the home in July 2018, did you?
No.
Did you pay in August of 2018?
I started paying in November.
Okay. So the months of July, August, September, and October of 2018, who paid the mortgage on the house?
Bobby paid the mortgage on the house.
Was Bobby living in the house at that time?
No, he chose to leave by his own will.
But you were the one enjoying the house. You were living in the house, and Bobby was paying
From
for you
July
stay.
to November, yes, I was
Okay.
living in the home.
Okay. Alright. Let's go to Exhibit Z. So approximately when did you file for divorce?
June 26th.
Okay. Isn't it true that on July 20, or I guess it would be the 20th of 2018, Aiden's Army charged $541.25 to Bobby's account?
Yes, it did.
Okay. Your office space. Did you have, did you have a lease on it?
Yes, I do.
And in the year of 2018, whose name was on the lease?
Mine and Bobby's.
From January until you separated, whose name was it in?
It was on mine's and Bobby's, and then I had him removed from the lease.
Okay. You filed a complaint against Linda Naw with the Nevada Real Estate Division, correct?
Yes, I did.
That complaint was dismissed, yes?
Based on Bobby's false testimony. Yes.
The same, it was dismissed all the same. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. We talked about, you filed a criminal report December 3rd, 2018 against Linda Naw and Nikki Bott, and in there you accused them of fraud and forgery, yes?
Yes, I did.
But in your statement in January of this year, you filed a criminal report against Bobby and Nikki, claiming that Nikki had forged your signature and then had conspired with Bobby to pay off student loans, correct?
Objection asked and answered prior to lunch.
Just using it
don't
to set up
recall.
questions, Your Honor.
Overruled. Go ahead.
Correct?
Ask the question again, please.
Isn't it true that in your police report from January of this year, 2020, that your report only named Bobby Antee and Nikki Bott? You accused Nikki Bott of forgery and said that she conspired with Bobby to take money from you to pay student loans.
Yes, you did.
And you didn't include Linda Naw in this report at all, did you?
Because as I did more investigating, it was the notary that forged my name.
Okay. So over the course of this year, accusations. I guess are you saying that the accusations against Linda Naw were not relevant?
No,
anymore?
I made it very clear to Linda when I retained her that we would both go on title and he would be on the loan. She was very clear.
So why wasn't Linda included in your police report this January?
Because I found that Nikki notarized her own file on her own document, and she was the notary. So that's who the police instructed me to go after, was the person who said I signed the paper. And I know I didn't.
All right. What's the status of this current police report?
They're pending investigation currently.
It hasn't been closed?
No.
All right. Ms. Licari, is there one administrative or judicial body that has determined that Linda Naw, Nikki Bott, or Bobby Antee did anything wrong concerning the purchase of the house?
When Bobby is writing false statements, how can they get a right
It's a
story?
simple yes or no question, Ms. Licari.
Well, there's a pending investigation out Galvar, and that trial was delayed because she filed a false slander case, so they have not heard my trial at Galvar. And then the real estate board said I wasn't part of the deal at all, so I can't file a complaint, which is the whole problem.
So, to state succinctly, all of these places that you filed, to date, none of them have found any fault with Linda Naw or Bobby Antee.
Well, 2 are pending.
Okay, but to date, no one has found any fault.
They're still pending.
I'll take that as a no.
Okay. So you claim that Bobby did extensive damage to the property during the time that he lived there between January and July of 2018.
Yes, he did.
You produced any documents, estimates, repair invoices verifying the alleged damage that you claim Bobby
I
did?
submitted several pictures.
Did you ever have anybody come out and do an estimate?
No, I was struggling to keep up with what I was already paying.
Okay. So since November of 2018, you've paid for the mortgage, correct?
Yes.
You ever failed to pay it on time?
I purposely failed to pay it on time for 3 months.
And why did you purposely fail to do that?
Because I kept asking Bobby for statements to the home so I could know what I should be paying. I asked him for access to so I can call and manage the accounts, and he would do nothing. So I thought if I made the payment late, he would then care, because that's all he cares about was his credit.
So even though you were ordered by the court to pay the mortgage associated with the marital residence, and that he just had to provide you with the name of the mortgage company, you took it upon yourself to punish Bobby and purposefully failed to pay mortgage payments.
That's incorrect.
But you failed to pay mortgage payments, correct?
I've made every single mortgage payment
You
since
purposely
November.
paid them late or only after being requested to by counsel. Yes?
Not requested to by counsel. I made the payments every time on my own.
Were late charges ever levied against the account?
There were, and I've paid them all.
Alright, concerning health insurance, you say that your testimony was that you believed that you were removed from health insurance because a document was sent that required, I guess, your information or required you to fill out, and you testified that you never received that document, correct?
That's correct. They were being sent to Bobby.
Did you ever eventually receive the document to fill out?
Eventually, after I then went back to my counsel to go back to you guys to again ask for the same things, yes.
Have you produced a copy of that document as part of your disclosures?
A copy of what?
Copy of the document you filled out for insurance.
No.
Okay. So it's only your word that the letter was sent to you and not to Bobby.
No, you can see on all the mail Bobby's provided so far, it's all been going to his mom's house. That's where it went.
But not specifically, you haven't produced any documents specifically from the insurance company, correct?
How would I have that if they send it to his house?
You did eventually have the document, though, you've stated.
We got it, I believe, from you guys.
Okay. Concerning the charges that you claim got rung up while you were off of insurance, have you produced any documentation concerning these health charges?
Yes, I have.
Have they been produced
Yes.
in this case?
Yes.
Delivered to opposing counsel?
I give it to my counsel and I trust them to do their part and I do mine.
Is it true that you told the health insurance company that you incurred, I guess, that you had to have medical attention, which accrued charges relating to a car accident?
I did tell them I had, we got in a car accident. I did not go to the doctor that day. My mother went to the doctor. And then the next day, I was having issues that did not relate to the car accident at all, and I went to the emergency room.
Okay. So you claim, what, that a daybed and then snowboarding clothes were damaged as a result of the defendant's painting, correct?
Painting and moving that furniture out of the room that it was in. So he
Okay.
basically moved me out of my house and then got paint on the stuff.
Okay. You provided any documentation concerning the damages that were done to these items?
I provided photos.
Those photos been produced?
Yes.
Have you produced any invoices or anything that would clarify the value of the daybed?
I have receipts. I don't believe I gave my counsel the receipt for the day that it was $350.
Did you provide any sort of receipt or anything showing the value of the snowboarding clothes?
No.
I'll pass the witness.
And Lindsay, you had previously testified that you had added Mr. Antee to your Chase savings and checking account, is that correct?
That's correct.
And approximately when did you add him to this account?
I believe probably in December.
In December. And why in December did you add him to your checking and savings account?
They were asking me for constant gift letters. Every single little thing they wanted to know.
Objection,
So,
Your Honor. Hearsay.
So, why did you add Bobby to those accounts?
So So I would stop having to write gift letters for every single transaction.
And why would adding him to your account not require you to keep issuing gift letters?
Because we would both be signers on the account.
So was the lender having issues identifying the funds requiring you to execute these gift letters?
Yes, because not only were they trying to identify deposits, they were trying to, he was paying things off faster than they could even verify things, which is the whole problem.
So the sole purpose of adding him to your account was for the ease of facilitating the transaction, is that correct?
Yes, that was it.
And when did you remove him from your account?
About a couple weeks after I added him, I then asked him to add me to his banking accounts, where he said no. So I went back to the bank, I removed him from all of my accounts, closed them, got new account numbers to protect myself.
And do you recall who exactly instructed you, what party instructed you to add him to your account?
Linda Nah.
And if Linda had not instructed you to add Bobby to your account, would you have done that?
Never.
Objection, Your Honor, states facts not in evidence.
Sustained.
Did, other than the Chase Savings and Chase checking account, did you add Bobby to any other account?
Absolutely not.
Did he ever add you to any of his accounts?
Nothing.
And so your intent in adding your intent in adding Bobby to your checking and saving account was solely to facilitate the transaction if you decided to continue.
Right.
So why did you execute any gift letter?
Only so that we could be homeowners. Me and Bobby would be homeowners. So me signing the gift letters was getting us one step closer to that.
And who instructed you to issue the gift letters?
Linda Nah.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
Sustained.
And who provided you with gift letters to execute and sign?
Bobby.
And how would he provide those? to you?
Completely filled out. And he would say, you just need to sign this.
And this would be in a physical copy.
Yeah, most of them were physical copies.
So Bobby would give you this copy. You would then sign it and then send it to who? Or give it back to Bobby?
I sent them to Armin. Me and Bobby were sending them back to Armin.
And was there any point in time where you were informed that the mortgage company wasn't getting these gift letters?
Yeah, Linda said a few times they weren't
Objection,
getting
Your
the
Honor,
gift
hearsay.
letters.
Sustained.
Were you ever notified that the mortgage company wasn't getting the gift letters?
From Linda Nah, yes.
But is it your position that you had sent them, but they were just claiming they didn't receive it?
Yes, I still have all the sent ones from my email to Armin.
And was the entire purpose of issuing any gift letter based on the position that you would still be entitled to the home?
Absolutely.
Would you have issued any gift letter if you weren't going to be entitled to the home?
Never.
And was drafting the letter of agreement your way of protecting your contributions towards the purchase of the house?
Yes, because they were not gifts.
And you didn't intend to receive any money back in the event you weren't divorced. Is that correct?
No, my only request was that we're a married couple, we go on the home together, and there wouldn't have been an issue.
But in the event of divorce, you would receive $75,000 back. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So, all of the gift letters and all the funds you contributed were conditioned upon staying married to Bobby. Is that correct?
And us both being on the title of the home.
No further questions. questions, Your Honor.
Just a couple. You stated that you removed Bobby from the accounts a few weeks after, correct?
Yes.
But you stated that you received new account numbers, yes?
Yes.
So did you have to create new accounts with Chase?
I don't
to
create
receive,
anything.
To
I
receive
just
new bank numbers or bank account numbers?
yes, I opened a brand new account at the bank with Chase.
And you transferred the money that was in the account, you transferred it to those accounts?
No, because my money was already taken out of my account by the time this happened.
Sure. So this new account, what funds did you put into it?
The remaining funds that I had in my old account went into the new checking account.
Okay. And how much was
I
there?
don't know.
Okay. You just stated that you had all the extraneous gift letters in your email between you and David, correct?
I said I sent the gift letters to Armin through my email after I signed them.
And it was your understanding that you kept sending all of these, but he wasn't receiving them.
Oh, he was receiving them, but Linda was saying he wasn't.
Okay. Have you produced any of these emails between you and Armin?
I have produced some of them.
But not all of them.
No, but I can.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. You can step down. Next witness.
Well, I believe Bobby. Get up there, man.
So you wanna make some water fill with you at all, or you alright?
Hey, you need some water, man?
I think I'm fine.
Okay.
Can you please raise your right hand? You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Please be seated.
All right, Bobby. Can you say your name and spell it for the record?
My name is Bobby Antee, Bobbyantee.
What's your profession?
I work in guest services for MGM Resorts. I work at Vidar Hotel, and then I also work at the Palms Hotel, same guest services.
Perfect. When did you meet Lindsay?
I met Lindsay in January in 2001. I remember coming back from college. I had just completed my, I was midway through the sophomore year of my college in Antelope Valley College, and I came back to Vegas to get more classes and try to go back to continue school. So I met Lindsay in January 2001 at a bowling alley, and we became friends, and we dated all the way until the end of the summer. Then Lindsay went off to school.
Okay. But you went a long time without seeing Lindsay, I guess, frequently, yes? When did you start seeing her more frequently before you got married?
Well, when I got back into school, I was in Tennessee, and I got a call from my head coach that she was trying to reach me. So the following year, when I came back home to Vegas, I took the Greyhound bus to see Lindsay in California, and then I came back. She was still in and out of relationships, so we just seen each other as friends, but we wanted to see each other from after so long.
Okay, let's move to 2017. I guess when did let's go midway through the year. So after Lindsay had broken up with her fiance, how often would you see her then?
I would go over periodically. When I would get off work, I would ask her if she needed me to come by. It could be maybe twice a week, couple times a week. I would go over and just hang out with her and be there with her and her son.
When did you move in with Lindsay?
It was in November, the same. I broke my lease in November 2017, the end of November. Aiden ended up passing November 3rd. And so after that, we felt like it wasn't a good thing for us to leave her alone.
Okay. And you and Lindsay got married on November 25th of
Correct.
2017, yeah? How long, I guess, had you guys spoken about getting married before then?
It was a sporadic conversation we had. We talked about not staying in that house because we saw Aiden, take his last breath there in the house. So we decided that we needed to look for a place. So we initially started looking for an apartment. We looked for apartments everywhere. They were ranging anywhere from $1,500 to $1,600 a month for a decent 2-bedroom apartment. But we also thought that wouldn't be a good idea to spend that type of money and waste maybe $20,000 for a year lease when we can just invest that money into a home, and that would be a nice investment for us moving forward.
Okay. If you'll open to Exhibit K in the defendant's book, so it's going to be the smaller book. All right, and I want to flip over to the page bearing Antee 000456. There's going to be 2 pages over. So this is your Goldman Sachs account, correct?
Correct.
This is like an online savings account.
Correct.
Was there any debit card associated with it or a credit card?
No, it was strictly an online savings account that yielded a high interest.
Okay.
So that was a safe keep for I had for the last 4 years. I had never made a withdrawal from that account because it was strictly just a savings account.
Okay. And so at the end, so going to the bottom, there's a date, October 31st, 2017. What does it say that your ending balance is?
October 31st?
Yes.
It says $13,461.37.
Okay. Okay. Where were you working during November of 2017?
Vidar Hotel.
Okay, so same place you're working now.
Yes.
Did you continue to work through that month?
Through the month of October and November, yes.
Okay. Did you work in December?
No, I didn't. I took a 4-week leave of absence.
Why was that?
It was to help set up the office. We had just signed the lease from December 1st of that year for a year lease. So we needed to get the office set up, purchase things for the office, and spend time together as a newlywed couple pretty much.
What was the office? Who utilized the office?
She utilized the office mainly, but I signed the lease for the office, but
was it for you two personally, or was it for Aiden's Army? What was it?
Oh, the office is strictly for Aiden's Army.
Okay. Do they still use that office?
To my knowledge, I believe so. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. I guess it's already been discussed on the record. If you want to go to page L, or Exhibit L in that book. So this is your American Express statement, correct?
Correct.
All right, and it says there in kind of the the middle right column, it says that you had new charges for that month totaling $10,251. Yes.
Correct. I see new charges.
Okay.
Yes.
What was the biggest contributor to that $10,000 in charges?
Her wedding ring.
Okay. And how much did her wedding ring cost?
I believe it was like $8,000 or $9,000. We charged my car, and then I ended up paying back with the money that we had in the savings.
So when you had funds, I guess what was your method of paying off your American Express?
It was, I asked her like at the end of this first statement, like I've never had a credit card balance this high. I was like, how do you want us to pay? She said, pay with the money that I gave you. And so I transferred the money from savings back into my checkings account so I could pay this bill. Because with American Express, you have to pay, with the American Express Gold Card, you have to pay the total balance every month.
Okay, and so but you had $13,000 in your Goldman Sachs account, correct?
Correct.
Before, I guess, as of October 31st, 2017, and you utilized some of those funds to pay for the wedding ring.
Correct.
Okay.
Whatever was in there, we're acting as a couple, so I just transferred the money into the account and paid the balance.
What was as you guys were living together from kind of November 3rd on, what was your process for, I guess, how would you guys pay for groceries or pay for food going out?
Well, whatever we needed, we would go out. We used my American Express for a lot of majority of the charges, for dinners, for clothing, for anything that we needed. We would basically charge my American Express card because we knew we were going to accumulate the points, and then towards April we did use the points for flights.
But as you would work, when you would get paychecks, where would they go?
They would go into my One Nevada checking account.
Okay, and then you would put that money wherever it needed to go.
Correct.
Okay. Who were you using for banking before you got married?
One Nevada and Bank of America.
When did Lindsay add you to the Chase checking account?
The checking account, November 26th of 2017.
Okay. Were there any limits placed on you as an account holder?
None whatsoever.
Did you ever have to sign anything? Did you ever do anything that stated that your holding of the account was anything less than joint?
I just thought it was an account she was adding me to, and we went into the Chase Bank together, and we signed the documents to add me to the account, and that was it.
And you were added as a joint account holder, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you were also added to her Chase savings account, correct?
Correct.
I guess same questions. Were there any limits placed on your ability as an account holder?
There was no limits.
Okay. When did you and Lindsay first discuss buying a house?
We discussed it when we were looking for an apartment. So right after the funeral, we started talking about, we can't, she saw her son pass in there. We saw Aiden pass in there. So we didn't think it was a good idea, since we're a couple now, and we had just got married, to stay in that apartment. So we initially started looking for a different apartment. And then when we started looking at apartments, we realized that, we have all this money, so why not just invest into a home?
Okay.
We thought it was a smart idea.
When did you first meet with, or I guess first I'll say, who was your mortgage lender?
West Valley Mortgage.
Okay. When did you first meet with them?
I signed the application, I believe, sometime late November. Towards the end of November, early December.
And I guess did you ever go into the mortgage company, meet with them?
Yes.
Where's their office located?
West Sahara and Fort Apache.
Okay. Did you go by yourself or did Lindsay go with you?
I went by myself at times, but Lindsay came with me a few times as well.
So both of you met with the lender at some point?
Yes, we met Drew.
Okay. Why wasn't Lindsay put on as a borrower on the mortgage with you?
Lindsay told me we were going to use my credit for any loan that we would possibly need, for the lease of the apartment, for her new storage unit, for the house, for the car, because she was $80,000 in personal debt and she planned on filing bankruptcy.
Do you have any idea what her personal credit score was around that time?
She never told me, but if a person's 80 grand in personal in debt, and I could imagine it's not good enough to get anything.
Okay. What, after you met with the lender, what was your understanding of steps that you would have to take in order to qualify for the mortgage that you want?
After they ran the credit, they told me with the down payment and the debt paid off, we would be able to qualify for a home in the range that we thought would keep us at $1,200 a month. So we were looking for homes that were within $220,000, $230,000, $240,000, $250,000 range. We looked at several homes. We didn't see anything we liked until we saw the final home. That was the very last home we saw, and we applied for that one. We went for that one.
All right. So what steps, I guess, did you have to take to qualify for the mortgage?
We have to pay off debts that I had.
Okay. And what was the first debt that you guys took care of?
They told us we had to pretty much sell the car, get the car off my credit.
All right. You want to open to exhibit. Where'd you go? Why? So what was the car that you sold?
It was a 2011 Jaguar XJL.
How'd you feel about the car?
I loved it.
How long had you had it?
I had it maybe 3 years.
Would you have sold it if you didn't have to?
No way.
What did they end up telling you they'd purchase it for? Or I guess here, I'll strike that. Let me go back a little bit. So you say you met with the lender kind of end of November of 2017. What's the date that you sold your car on here? Sorry, and you might have to flip over to the next page.
It says November 30th, 2017.
So there was a really quick turnaround from when it was said, hey, get rid of debt, to when you sold your car.
Correct.
Do you believe that that selling the car so quickly resulted in getting a lower price than you might have otherwise obtained?
It's possible.
So how much did CarMax end up giving you for the car?
We end up having to write them a check for $4,000. So
So let's go to the contract. Top right corner. What does it say they gave as their appraisal offer?
the appraisal offer is $16,000 and was owed $19,050.
So I think that's tough to read. So you say that you ended up having to write them the difference?
Correct.
Yeah, you had to pay the difference. And how much was the payoff amount listed in negative equity?
Negative equity of $4,060.74.
Okay, so if your estimated payoff was $19,674, the negative equity was $4,060.74. That means they gave you $15,000, correct?
Correct.
Okay. It can be tough to read when it's all like that. Okay, let's go to Exhibit O. So this is the borrower's note, correct?
Correct.
And how much does it say under borrower's promise to pay? How much does it say that the mortgage is going to be for?
$204,800.
Okay. Last page of that document, so you flip over 2 pages. You signed as the borrower, correct?
Correct.
And even though you were the sole one on the mortgage, what was your understanding of who the house would belong to?
It was for our marriages, for me and her moving forward.
So did you ever look at it as legally just belong to you?
Not at all. That would be crazy.
All right, let's go to Exhibit R. So this is the closing disclosure. And you received an initial version of this some days before, I guess, the initial closing date of January 15th, correct?
Correct.
Okay, let's flip over to page bearing 906, where it says adjustments and payoffs. It says the amount is $8,374.03, correct?
Which page is
Oh,
that?
sorry. So it's page 906.
Okay.
So in the middle there it says payoffs $8,374.03. Yeah.
Correct.
What was that payoff going towards?
The student loan.
And how long had you known that you were going to have to pay off your student loan?
I had known for at least a month or so.
And had you and Lindsay discussed this?
Yes.
And the understanding was that this would be paid out of the escrow from the house, correct?
That's what the lender told us. They told us that the credit cards and the student loans will be paid at closing.
Did you end up paying the credit cards early?
I ended up making a mistake and thinking I was doing us just getting that out of the way, so I ended up paying the credit cards early, and that's why they came back asking us for more explanations and why are you moving around money and where's this deposit coming from?
Okay. Was this payoff necessary in order to close on the house?
Correct.
And did you and Lindsay both know that this was necessary?
Yes.
Was there any serious discussion between you and Lindsay of canceling the purchase of the house?
We got really frustrated with the process of buying a home. We thought the lender was picking on us kind of because they kept asking us. We didn't know if they really wanted to give us a loan because they, as first-time home buyers, we didn't understand why we keep having to write all these letters of explanation, why we got to keep resending the gift letters, why they asking us whether these deposits coming from. So we're like, how are we going to operate if we can't buy anything, if we can't make a deposit? Like, how can we live without making any movement whatsoever? Any type of movement, they ask for an explanation. So we got frustrated. We both equally got frustrated. And Lindsay at that point said, go ahead and take over this since you're the one signing for the home. Go ahead and take over this. I don't want to deal with this no more.
Okay. And then I guess over those few days, you had told Linda that if you weren't able to close when you expected to close, then you would look at canceling, correct?
Correct. That's in text.
And after that time, Lindsay continued to cooperate with the purchase of the home, correct?
Correct.
All right, let's go to the day that you signed. So January 17th. You went to the title office, yes?
Correct.
And while you were at the title office, I guess, what happened while you were there?
Well, initially I had told my wife the day before that we needed her down there. And that's in text that you have as well. And she decided to go to her office. I didn't know what she was doing there, but she went to her office. While I was down there, I was signing all the necessary docs to get us keys the next day. So.
Okay. And while you were there, did Lindsay sent you a letter of agreement, yes?
Correct.
What did she tell you when she sent you this letter?
Well, the letter agreement basically stated that in case of a divorce, she wants pretty much a full refund.
All right, can you open to Exhibit H,